This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, how to get 30, how to get 20, 20, 20, how to get 20, 20, how to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold! Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Welcome to the W, where elite athletes are redefining the game of basketball. From buzzer-beating shots, jaw-dropping defense, and logo threes, the WNBA delivers nonstop action and world-class talent every game. These athletes don't just play the game, they elevate it. The biggest stars, the brightest stage. AT&T WNBA All-Star 2025 comes to Indianapolis July 18th through 19th. Tune into the game July 19th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC.
Fan.
Welcome back to the show.
Jerk ass!
Take care, Polly Wally.
Why don't you put your pants back on, Slappy?
Stop him! Stop him! Stop him!
9 to noon.
You like that?
Just listen. Just listen.
Good stuff.
Oh, yeah. Good stuff. As punting immortality Greg Coleman just said, good stuff because it is a Talkback Talker Tuesday, 9 to noon at FM 100.3 KFAN. And we begin with a howl. So good morning, y'all. And joining us now is Timberwolves assistant coach and director of player development, also the head coach for the summer league team. His name is Kevin Hanson, and he joins us now. Kevin, I'm Paul Allen. Good to chat with you, and thanks for helping the radio show.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
What do you and the staff do with the rookies before heading to Las Vegas, like the early stages this week?
We started training camp Sunday. We've had 3 practices already. We had one long one on Sunday and then 2 yesterday. Just getting the basics down. Simple stuff, putting in our pick and roll defense, having emphasis on, getting transition defense. And then we got to install an offense, which is probably the most tedious thing that we have to do in a 4-day span leading into a game on Thursday.
So with a handful of players who have been with the team, and then the rest learning new offense or new defense or NBA related expectations. Truly, what are some of the tedious moments? What are some of the tricky moments that you have to help the college kids push through?
Yeah, like NBA terminology, that just learning our terminology. It's like a whole new language, obviously. NBA is such a pick and roll driven league, so just learning the nuances of defending pick and roll, things that we do. Obviously, we play a lot in drop coverage with our fives, but smalls having to navigate screens and break off into a big legs if the big commits. There's a lot of different things. We're trying to keep it as simple as possible for our guys. basically getting 1-2 coverages, but it's still a lot to learn. And then offensively, just learning, spacing, just learning how to play in flow. I feel like college is way more, stat oriented. They run, a lot of motion offenses and stuff like that, where the NBA is more read and react stuff. But I will say these guys that are new, they've done a great job picking up stuff pretty quick on the fly.
Now, Kevin spent 8 seasons in New Orleans before joining Chris Finch's staff a couple of seasons ago, and your first summer league game is Thursday against New Orleans. So, are you going to get the guys all keyed up to destroy your former team?
Yeah, it's going to be a bloodbath.
And I don't know what the circumstances were with you leaving. I would assume position elevation, better team, more money, whatever. But, I mean, this is a rare opportunity to be like, guys, they didn't want me. So we got to go out there and beat somebody by 20.
I was fortunate. I left on my own accord. There was a better opportunity. And I saw the writing on the wall. I was with Alvin Gentry on that staff, and just felt like a good time to get out, get ahead of the game. I actually loved my time in New Orleans. It was great. A lot of ups and downs, obviously, but the city was awesome. Really embraced that, and yes, you always want to beat your former team. I was with San Antonio before that. You always get geared up when you go against your former team.
But
I think Vinci gets a little bit more geared up than I do going against New Orleans.
Yeah, I don't want to turn this into NBA TV or NBA radio like Fan Line and not talk about what's coming up for you guys. But you just said a couple of intriguing things. One, you caught. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Kevin, but you caught Anthony Davis at a younger time in his career. And I mean, what was that like working with Anthony Davis?
Oh, it was unreal. I had him from his rookie year until I was with him 7 years.
Wow.
It was tremendous to work with him and watch him develop. Coming in, really a defensive player coming in. Had obviously a lot of tools, but really raw still offensively, and just to be able to groom him and help him come along, it was fun to watch to see where he's at now. He's great.
And secondly, working under/with basketball immortality, Greg Popovich. If you were to quick twitch, just share like one or two things that Greg does, maybe on a daily basis during the season, that helps lead to. I mean, he's had good players for many, many years, but lead to cohesiveness and just some underrated things about Pop that maybe some people wouldn't know.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about Pop is like, he might, you'll be in a film room and he'll rip you and tear you to shreds, and come out on the floor and, take that onto the floor, but then once he gets that out, he's got a really sweet side to him where, he's able to put his arms around you, play around with you. Then he might put on some Elvis music and get that going. He'll start dancing. It's just those kind of things that, it makes him a real person, and he's unbelievable with that. Like, just really helping, like, cultivate the, players' growth in a lot of different ways too,
Yeah.
Showing them culture, whether it's taking them out to dinner and showing them, really good bottles of wine, or meeting guys in Paris, and that's kind of the stuff he does that nobody sees. Obviously, he's a tremendous coach, X's and O's, unbelievable leader. But I feel like it's those things that like really set him apart.
That's fantastic. What a wonderful answer. Thank you. This is Kevin Hanson. He's on Finchie's staff as an assistant coach. He's also the director of player development, and he is the Timberwolves Summer League coach beginning this Thursday with the first Summer League game against New Orleans out Las Vegas way. And Kevin coached New Orleans 2018 Summer League team. He was the head coach for that team. So, just from 2018 to now, and coaching maturation, personal maturation. What's better about you as a coach now compared to then?
At that point, I didn't really know who I was specifically as a coach yet, even though I'd been in the league a long time. I was, I hung my hat on player development and saw myself as the more offensive-minded coach. But I just feel way more well-rounded now since she has me in charge. I'm actually not director of player development. That was my title coming in.
Oh, geez.
Chris Hines is director of player development. I'm really heavy on the defensive side of the ball. I'm in charge of our pick and roll defense. So I spend a lot of time game plans and, just working on making sure our pick and roll is tight. And so I just feel way more well-rounded and prepared. But, like going into this summer league, having coached that one, you just got to keep things simple. Keep things simple, like just a simple message. Focus on small things instead of like trying to run intricate stuff that these guys are going to struggle to run. So just really focus on leading the team.
Yeah, I apologize for the mistake, and nevertheless, so working with the defense, and the players that you're bringing to Las Vegas. It's the summer league games, and I've seen some before. They don't necessarily have as much rodeo to them as I think people want to believe, with kind of like a wild west summer league, throw up 100 threes during the course of the game. There is a fair amount of structure to it. At least that's my take on it from what I've seen. And with your guys, like the gang. Let's begin with Terrence Shannon Jr. What do you like about his game, and what do you expect from him starting Thursday?
Yeah, I love how aggressive-minded he is, just attacking the rim. We do want to see some more playmaking, where it's not just him looking to score. We do expect him to make reads and make plays for his teammates. And then I just want to see him. I want to see him defend at a high level. I want to see him take on a challenge of guarding maybe the best play. We have Jalen Clark as well, who's going to take on that challenge. But I want to see Terrence do it as well. I think he has the bones for it. So to challenge him, he's going to play a lot more minutes. So being able to do both for an extended period of time. That's what I want to see from him.
With Terrence, Kevin, he has the fearless gene, doesn't he? I mean, consider the OKC series. I mean, even when things were getting wonky for you guys and they weren't going that well, the rookie came in and just took it to the Thunder, generally speaking, right?
Yeah, he is fearless. And when someone attacks the rim like that with reckless abandon, guys are going to get out of the way a lot of the time. Or he's going to get to the free throw line. So we're going to see a lot of that in Summer League. We're really going to emphasize throwing that ball up to him and getting the ball downhill. And then, it's about him, making reads. They're probably going to collapse at times, especially when you get deeper into the Summer League and they start game planning. And then it's about him making the right reads.
That's terrific. Rob Dillingham, he's 20 and a half years of age. Despite the youth and inexperience, Kevin, what are some things Dillingham does that work in the league even right now?
I mean, he's really good playing pick and roll with a rolling big, and which is what we have. So we have that in abundance now. So he's got to lean into that. Obviously, he can go by anybody. So it's about his decision making when he does that. We just want to see him mature as a point guard. Running the team. Trust his shot. But also he's got to look to facilitate a lot of offense.
With Rob, Coach Hanson, does his 3-point game need to improve and significantly? And does that shot, the 3-point shot, does it come naturally to Rob Dillingham?
I think it's taken a little time to extend his range a little bit, just strength-wise. He's got a lot of motion in his shot, but as he gets stronger, that shot's going to become easier. As you get reps and reps and reps, you get more used to the distance. But yeah, that's a shot he's going to need. There's no question about that.
Tell us about the Irish, C.J. Fulton, undrafted from Charleston. When you say he has all the reads, what does that mean?
He's very composed when it comes off of a screen and pick and roll. So his head's up. He's surveying the floor, and he's generally going to make the right decision. The only decision he's really not as comfortable making is scoring the ball. So you got to be able to do it all. You got to find something that you can get to where you're scoring, so they play you honest. Because there's times we play guys and we're like, hey, just stay home on his pick and roll because he's really just looking to pass. It's like he can find the big, he can find the shake pass, he can find the kick out pass. He's just very composed. You feel very comfortable when he has the ball in his hands and pick and roll.
So you and I are just meeting, and I'm going to take a leap here, and I'm going to make a guess, and I may be hopelessly wrong. But with the way you described C.J. Fulton with the quote that I read, or the YouTube clip that I watched last night, I'm guessing you are a big Sons of Anarchy fan.
You know what? I actually never watched the show.
Okay. Well, the reason I said,
it was before the time I was single and
okay.
I wasn't watching a lot of shows.
Well, the reason I brought it up is because there was a group in the show of Irish bikers, and they were called the Irish. So they didn't call them by their names, but they were like the Irish, the Irish, the Irish. And when you described C.J. Fulton of Irish descent as the Irish, I'm like, my man knows everything about Jax Teller and Sons of Anarchy. I think we're going to get along just fine. Also, I think
I just caught myself
in that C.J. Fulton clip and or quote. You also went down this road, and I'm going to frame it up like this about point guards in the NBA. Is the true point guard in the NBA, is that position as a true one evaporating? And if so, why do you think that is?
I do believe it's evaporating for sure. I mean, you see more of it with guys like come off the bench nowadays. I just think today's culture, when people work on stuff, they work on scoring. They're not working on running pick and roll and their reads, and it might have something to do with the AAU culture, where they just play, and everybody's just kind of looking to score. I'm not 100% certain on that. It's just you don't see it as much anymore at all. When you get it, you value it so much. But it's a dying breed.
I mean, you guys can, you can look right at your team, right? I mean, where, granted, you got Mike Conley, you got Rob Dillingham, Alexander Walker would play some point, and so on, but, there were so many key times for you guys last year and some really good moments where it was point Julius. I mean, it was point power forward, and you would run it repeatedly, so that plays into it also, right?
Yeah, I mean, Jokic, he's their point guard.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, whoever your best passer is, your best facilitator, that's essentially who's going to be your ball-dominant, playmaking person, whoever it is, position. So many of the point guards they're older players, like Mike Conley, Chris Paul, or you have guys that can do both. Like Trae Young, love him or hate him. He can really pass the ball. He's led the league in assists since 2018.
Mm-hmm.
But he can score with the best of them.
Go ahead.
Point guards can do both. I was saying most point guards can do both nowadays.
Really, really enjoying the conversation. I look forward to meeting you in person. So the Bluetooth meshing with the radio doesn't mean I'm cutting you off once every 3.5 minutes. I apologize for that. Just a couple more here to close. Finchy, the head coach, Chris Finch. Does Finchy hover during these games in Las Vegas? Like, can you hear him from the 10th row yelling, "Run passing game, Kevin"?
Usually he'll send a message down from somebody, or he'll just wait for the game to be over, and then you'll get an earful at that point. I've been with him in the stands the last 5 years, watching these. He does get frustrated, but he usually saves it for after the game.
Kevin Hanson, a couple of quickies to close here. He's coaching the Timberwolves Summer League team, assistant coach for the squad for a couple of years. Chris Finch, how has he helped your career, given you guys were together back in the New Orleans days?
Well, for one, he kind of pushed me in this direction to come to Minnesota before I came, so that helped. But one thing he's really good at is like recognizing how to develop coaches and where they fit. And he saw my fit on the pick and roll, on the defensive side of the ball. And it's really helped me, giving me something to really hang my hat on. And he's done that for a lot of coaches that I've seen, even in New Orleans. Fred Vinson, for example, really good shooting coach, and he really pushed him in that direction to really just like lean into that. So he's got a really good eye for recognizing what us coaches are good at, or what we can be good at. And that's really helped me a lot.
With your days in New Orleans, and Finchy and I have talked about this too, but what is pro ball like in New Orleans? I mean, they for sure love the Saints down there, but what about the Pelicans?
Yeah, it can be pretty rough. If you're not putting a good product out there, you're not going to get much for attendance. And even when we were good, you got to wait for the Saints season to kind of be over. It's like it's pretty scarce in there until the Saints season's over, and then they'll kind of take a peek and see how the Pelicans are doing. They love the team, but paying season tickets for both teams, it's just not something that they're looking to do as much of.
Right.
I mean, once we get to the playoffs over there, that place is popping. It's one of the best.
Yeah, I mean, it
takes a while to get there.
It has some basketball immortality to the town. I mean, they didn't win a championship, but I mean, we can go back to the Pistol Pete Maravich days, right? And he might have played with Gail Goodrich there,
right.
but Pistol Pete definitely played there back in the day, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they love the team. They just don't love it as much as the Saints.
A couple of players to close. What do you envision is next with this summer? Then the season, obviously. But Jalen Clark, what facets of his game are you guys going to hone in on during this handful of summer league games?
I mean, I think that's the key, is just honing in on the things he already does and get better at them. He does a good job of playing off the catch, driving the ball. But we want to see more, refined finishing, decision making. Maybe some of those are kickouts where he collapses, the paint and he finds a teammate. Obviously his shooting, we want that to continue to improve and him get comfortable shooting different shots. We want to see his cutting still, and really, I just want to see him guard a lot of different type of players. So whether that's a big, whether it's the point guard, he's got to guard them all. And I think, he's always going to hang his hat on defense. So let's lean into that and see what we can do with him in different ways. He has the ability to really be one of the better defenders in the league if he wants to, but there's nuance to that. So he's got to pick that up.
And finally, the French rookie Yoann Berenguer. Those those arms, man. I mean, they go from Maui to Maine. What are you seeing from him leading up to the summer league games, and like how much is he going to play, or how much do you expect him to play, and what are you looking for?
I mean, he's going to start for us. I expect him to play, probably half the games because we have a lot of other bigs, and I think, I think his head's spinning a little bit right now, so that'll help him. Probably playing shorter stints, maybe 3 short stints. But he has all the tools. He's just very raw. He's got great hands. He can catch the ball pretty much anywhere you throw it to him, and he's got great timing. All the other little pieces, they're going to take a while. Footwork and, adding some, dribble moves or whatever. We don't know what he's going to be right now. But, his shot, all that stuff, that's going to take time. But right now, he's got great timing with catching lobs, blocking shots. So I expect a lot of that. I expect him to be a deer getting up and down the floor. And, just really affecting the game on defense right now.
Yeah, watching clips and or highlights of his work overseas, I mean, I can see why you guys are excited. He does have some athletic freak to him, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, give him like a year or two, you guys are going to be like, whoa, now I get it. Yeah, this kid's going to be a stud.
My man.
He's got a great demeanor about him, too.
I greatly appreciate the conversation. Safe travels to Las Vegas, and I look forward to meeting you in person. And have a lot of fun, okay? Embrace the moment, smell the roses.
All right, I appreciate it.
And thank you very much for the chat. See you later.
All right, see you.
See you, bud. That's Kevin Hanson. He's an assistant on Finchie's bench, been there for a couple of years. And he's going to be the Timberwolves Summer League coach beginning Thursday with a game against the New Orleans Pelicans. The New Orleans Pelicans and their rookies. My man who played for Maryland hit the walk-off shot in the NCAA tournament, the big man.
Yes. Why am I losing his name right now?
Derek Keys.
Derek Queen?
Queen, thank you.
Yeah.
Derek Queen. Yeah, I think he's on the Pelicans. That'd be fun to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, Minnesota Vikings fans specifically, fans of football specifically, for those of you who have heard the name or the reference of a Vikings quarterback from about 20 years ago named Spurgeon Wynn, but you've never watched him play, what you just heard from yours truly with the execution or lack thereof when it comes to offering the questions for our new friend Kevin Hanson, that was akin to the way quarterback Spurgeon Wynn played the game.
I always love that one.
Just when you think you're unfurling the perfect first down pass / question, the timing was poor. And the subject, the guest, was not done talking. So the Spurgeon Wynn-esque execution of those questions for Kevin Hanson is putting the announcer on the bench worthy. I just couldn't get my timing down with that Bluetooth. But hopefully you were able to learn something and or pull something enjoyable from that conversation, because I know I did. It's 9:27. TimberTech, timbertech.com. Jesse Singh, the CEO of AZIC Corporation, longtime sponsors of 9 to Noon, yours truly, and KFAN. Thank you very much for the week daily What's on Deck 9 to Noon, courtesy of TimberTech and timbertech.com. They do decking right. And courtesy of TimberTech, the guest list includes 2 more. Glen Perkins, relief pitching immortality for the Minnesota Twins, joins about 25 minutes from now. And the columnist, Lavelli Neal III. He's a columnist for the Star Tribune, and he's ballyhooed. He will be in the 651 Carpets Plus studios at about 11 o'clock. When we return, we unfurl a portion of Dealer's Choice Talk Back Talker Tuesday suggestions with a side dish of snark. And then you fill that talkback machine and are heard somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 o'clock, 10:15. I'm Paul Allen. This is 9 to Noon. The producer is Eric Nordquist. You got all that money in his pocket, and he's ready to give it to you.
Yes, the Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a chance at some bonus bucks with the National Cash Contest. Go to KFAN.com, enter the keyword money, and you might win $1,000. You might win some money with the keyword money at KFAN.com.
The last thing anyone wants is to leave behind confusion, stress, or worse, family conflict. That's why estate planning isn't just for the wealthy. It's for families like mine, and probably like yours. With Trust and Will, I created my estate plan in minutes, from naming guardians for my kids to putting our house in a trust to avoid probate. Fast, affordable, and way easier than I thought. Every plan is designed by estate planning attorneys and customized for your state. Plans start at just $199 and include essentials like healthcare directives and power of attorney. With Trust and Will's bank-level security and built-in privacy protections, your personal information and your wishes stay safe. Whether you're newly married, raising kids, caring for aging parents, or just want peace of mind, Trust and Will makes it easy to protect what matters most. Go to trustandwill.com, use code RADIO at checkout, and save 20% on your personalized plan. Because there's no better time to protect the people you love. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Welcome to the W, where elite athletes are redefining the game of basketball. From buzzer-beating shots, jaw-dropping defense, and logo threes, the WNBA delivers nonstop action and world-class talent every game. These athletes don't just play the game, they elevate it. The biggest stars, the brightest stage. AT&T WNBA All-Star 2025 comes to Indianapolis July 18th through 19th. Tune into the game July 19th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC.
This is Jacob Goldstein from What's Your Problem? When you buy business software from lots of vendors, the costs add up and it gets complicated and confusing. Odoo solves this. It's a single company that sells a suite of enterprise apps that handles everything from accounting to inventory to sales. Odoo is all connected on a single platform in a simple and affordable way. You can save money without missing out on the features you need. Check out Odoo at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
This episode is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal can help you find and finance the right vehicle with ease. And this summer, you're in the driver's seat with savings. You can get a $250 bonus when you buy your next car through Navy Federal's car buying service, powered by TrueCar and financed with Navy Federal. With this tool, you can find the vehicle that's right for you as you search through inventory and compare models. And you could get an amazing rate when you finance with Navy Federal. Navy Federal strives to support all active duty, veterans, and their families to achieve their personal and financial goals. And this partnership with TrueCar is one of the many tools Navy Federal uses to help its members. Make your plan with Navy Federal and TrueCar today. Navy Federal Credit Union. To qualify for the $250 bonus, car purchase and financing must be completed by September 2nd, 2025. Terms and conditions apply and are available at NavyFederal.org/TrueCar. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
The Fan.
Everybody ready now? It's a dealer's choice day with the old talkback machine. iHeart app, baby. Free iHeart Radio app. Find that baby microphone, and you got 30 seconds to state everything that comes out of your heart and soul. Dealer's choice day. It's a talkback talker Tuesday. On a Tuesday, we talk back and text more than people know. iHeart app, baby microphone. Veterans know what to do. Newbies out there, Billy, Johnny, Christy, Susie, Antoine, Tamika, new to KFAN. If you're new to KFAN, that means you're probably new to radio because we've been around forever. But in a world that can involve shorts and YouTube shorts and TikTok shorts and some other diversionary tactics, trying to cut into the fiber and the wherewithal of the age-old Marconi radio machine. If you're new to it and you're having some hot fun in the summertime and you're listening to 9 to noon and this is like the sports monopoly and the one of the core four here at KFAN that focuses on sports-related topics about 99.2% of the time, and you have something on your mind, how lucky are you? Just think about it. How fortunate are you? Somebody came up with the talkback machine via the free iHeartRadio app, and you have an opportunity simply to do what you do all the time. Go to an app. Only with this one, you make KFAN your preset. Find that microphone, local or national sports, have some bit to you, and file a report over 30 seconds. Then it's played on the radio. If you're a new parent and your children are old enough to understand Billy, Johnny, Christy, Susie, Tamika, Antoine, everybody sit around the radio. Everybody sit around the phone at the dinner table because we've isolated Dad's part of the podcast. And you get to hear him be on the radio with God's cartoon character who has the blessing of being the voice of the Minnesota Vikings. And they went back and forth. Oh, no, wait, they didn't. It's talk back, not talk with. But you still can put the phone at the table and listen to Daddy-O or Mom on the talkback machine at FM 100.3 KFAN.
It's usually Dad.
Your talkback leader. So with the Talkback Talker Tuesday, it's time for you guys to carry the show. It's time to be heard on major market radio, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe it jumpstarts a career. Think about, when I say jumpstarts a career by being heard on the radio, old schoolers will understand what I'm saying when I unfurl this voice.
Down memory lane we go.
No
love for my Golden State Warriors.
What do you mean?
You beat Dallas at home, the world champions, on Saturday night. Go back to L.A. the next night and beat the Clippers.
The voice of George Hutton Chapel, erstwhile Dark Star.
Don't let them scare you. The Senate knows where the middle of the road is, or they would have never thrown it out there.
That's crazy. Some of those voicemails that man left me. God rest his soul. He died June 1st, about, I think, 2012.
2012.
Yeah, so Dark was radio immortality, and little do a lot of people know.
Paul, I'm sitting here with Pat Royce, and we're trying to figure out whether you took over for Jesse or Jesse took over from you, or what the sequence was.
What?
Who filled in when Jesse was... Yeah. Who filled in when Jesse was running for governor? If you get this, give us a call.
My brother. It was PA in Dubé at the State Fair in... whatever year that was, 1998, I think.
98 election.
Yeah, State Fair, PA in Dubé. Jesse had a radio show in this time slot, and he was running for governor. He was going against a Humphrey and somebody else, and maybe Coleman. Can't remember exactly, but I know that there was a Humphrey in the mix. Jesse was an independent. Jesse, the former wrestling immortality, quite familiar and popular on that front.
Yeah, it was Norm Coleman and Skip Humphrey.
Thank you. They're, not being politically inclined then or really politically inclined now. I guess I didn't get the and by the way, it was my first full year in Minnesota, the first of having called races at Canterbury Park, but living the gypsy life, calling races in San Francisco, horse races, and they're racing in the Bay Area, 6.5 months, going to Grand Island, Nebraska, filling in for a man named Chris Katulak for a month and a half, then coming up to Shakopee. I did that for 5 years. And then I landed full-time here in 1998, and that's when the KFAN opportunity presented itself to fill in for Jesse, the governor of Ventura, Jesse the Body Ventura. And when we were at the Great Minnesota Get-Together doing these first radio shows that I ever had done, it was so memorable, because we were in a spot that was close to these booths, where people would line up to meet the candidates.
Yeah.
And then you'd with all due respect, okay, there's the Coleman booth. Well, there's the Humphrey booth. Look at that line wrapped all the way around the grandstand to see, hurry, step right up. It's the greatest show on earth. It's Jesse the Body Ventura. And we could kind of get a little feel right there that we might want to start talking about keeping this radio show.
Well, I was a freshman in high school, so not politically educated at all, really low understanding. I just remember it as being, it was kind of the 20-1, 30-1 long shot.
Big time. That
Jesse ultimately won. And you're talking about the independent candidates splitting votes from Norm and Skip and all of that. But in the end, part of it, as you guys were starting your radio career, it was not at that time favored by any stretch of the imagination that you would in the end be talking about keeping this radio show. So,
right.
But it went the right way for Jesse. It went the right way for you guys at the time.
That was crazy. And the reason I brought that up is because and I'm glad I did this. And I did this with my late mom too, when she died in 2006. But not as many, sadly, is I say voicemails. And I'm doing it with my kids now. And I did it with Dark Star, Dark was one of those people who never would text. Texting wasn't that giant of a thing in 2012, certainly not like it is now. But Dark would like to talk on the phone. So he would call a lot. And yours truly generally would miss the call and then call him back. But he left just some of the most unbelievable voicemails that I'm really, really glad I saved them over the years. I'm glad they're saved in the system like this one.
How can you only give us 17 seconds of Chaka Khan? Come on, man. There's a federal law that says you have to play 59 seconds of Chaka Khan. It's right here in my legal paper, so I'm looking here. I'll find it. Hey, Paul, PA, this is Dark Star. Can you give me a call when you get a minute, my brother?
My brother. The reason I bring that up is how does it tie to you, the listener, and the talkbacks via the free iHeartRadio app? Think about Dark Star. May God rest his soul. Several decades ago, a man named George Hutton Chappell, who eventually donned the nickname Dark Star, George Hutton Chappell, he started calling a radio show. I believe the radio show was with Patrick Royce and Joe Suchere on KSTP. And this George from Minneapolis, or this George from Minnetonka, was calling. And he called one time, and he claimed to have breaking news. So you got somebody calling a radio show with a couple of crafty radio veterans, and he was calling frequently, kind of like let's Common in the Commonwealth, back when he was delivering monikers back in the day. Pat the officiating guy, nice guy, Steelers guy, and the whole thing. So Dark was calling that radio show, and one time he called, and he claimed to have breaking news that Bud Grant was stepping down as Minnesota Vikings coach in 1985.
Oh my gosh.
Dark was right. Dark was right. And then they went to begging on the radio to have him call back. Well, what happened is right there at that time, it jump-started a 20-some-odd year radio career for Dark Star with WCCO and eventually KFAN. Dark was heard, and then Dark was hired. Think about it. That could be you today via the talkback mechanism. You pop in there so confidently and with such radio swagger, and boom! The bosses here hire you on the spot. And analyzing sports for profit, little did you know, is the next step in your journey. We'll set those talkbacks up after a quick interview with Twins relief pitching immortality, Glen Perkins.
The last thing anyone wants is to leave behind confusion, stress, or worse, family conflict. That's why estate planning isn't just for the wealthy. It's for families like mine, and probably like yours. With Trust and Will, I created my estate plan in minutes, from naming guardians for my kids to putting our house in a trust to avoid probate. Fast, affordable, and way easier than I thought. Every plan is designed by estate planning attorneys and customized for your state. Plans start at just $199 and include essentials like healthcare directives and power of attorney. With Trust & Will's bank-level security and built-in privacy protections, your personal information and your wishes stay safe. Whether you're newly married, raising kids, caring for aging parents, or just want peace of mind, Trust & Will makes it easy to protect what matters most. Go to trustandwill.com, use code RADIO at checkout, and save 20% on your personalized plan. Because there's no better time to protect the people you love. Trust & Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Welcome to the W, where elite athletes are redefining the game of basketball. From buzzer-beating shots, jaw-dropping defense, and logo threes, the WNBA delivers nonstop action and world-class talent every game. These athletes don't just play the game, they elevate it. The biggest stars, the brightest stage. AT&T WNBA All-Star 2025 comes to Indianapolis July 18th through 19th. Tune into the game July 19th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC.
This is Jacob Goldstein from What's Your Problem? When you buy business software from lots of vendors, the costs add up and it gets complicated and confusing. Odoo solves this. It's a single company that sells a suite of enterprise apps that handles everything from accounting to inventory to sales. Odoo is all connected on a single platform in a simple and affordable way. You can save money without missing out on the features you need. Check out Odoo at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
This episode is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal can help you find and finance the right vehicle with ease. And this summer, you're in the driver's seat with savings. You could get a $250 bonus when you buy your next car through Navy Federal's car buying service, powered by TrueCar and financed with Navy Federal. With this tool, you can find the vehicle that's right for you as you search through inventory and compare models. And you could get an amazing rate when you finance with Navy Federal. Navy Federal strives to support all active duty, veterans, and their families to achieve their personal and financial goals. And this partnership with TrueCar is one of the many tools Navy Federal uses to help its members. Make your plan with Navy Federal and TrueCar today. Navy Federal Credit Union. To qualify for the $250 bonus, car purchase and financing must be completed by September 2nd, 2025. Terms and conditions apply and are available at NavyFederal.org/TrueCar. Credit and collateral subject to approval. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Joins 9 to noon next. Hey, Perk. Paul Allen. How you been, Glenn?
PA, how we doing?
What's up, my brother? Glen Perkins.
It's been too long, man. I tell you what, when you texted me yesterday, I saw that it had been exactly 1 year.
Come on, had it really? I apologize for that.
That's too long.
Well, we have to do a better job in keeping our friendship present, okay? And I'll concede most of it's on me, none of it's on you, okay?
It's a two-way street.
Yes, well, it's great to chat with you now and to have the audience hear you, because this is Twins Relief Pitching Immortality. This is Saving Games Immortalities. Glen Perkins at Glen Perkins via the tweet machine. Overall, for you, ma'am, you and your wonderful family, how's the summer going? Are you enjoying yourselves?
We are absolutely enjoying ourselves. We're actually in Spain for the last couple of weeks. Got home in time for the road trip, and then back here on the homestand. But we had an awesome senior trip for our daughter, and thoroughly enjoyed traveling around Europe.
Well, yeah, I love traveling, and I've been to England, but I've never been to Spain. What's Spain like?
It's warm. It was warm. We were in Majorca, which is an island just east in the Balearic Sea. We were there, then we went to Barcelona for a couple of days. We actually stopped in London first and went to a musical on the West End there, and then flew south to Majorca and then Spain. And Barcelona was awesome. The food was fantastic. Best seafood I've ever had. It was amazing and hot and sunny every day.
Did you at any point rent or buy a tuxedo and head to Madrid and one of those James Bond-esque casinos and go in there and stack the chips at some craps game?
What I wish I had was like a linen suit. Minnesota boy going to Spain, and the Balearic Sea, it was hot, it was humid, and I certainly could have rocked a linen suit, I think, more than a tux.
Yeah, like Horatio Kane from CSI Miami, or Don Johnson back in the day. So you say in Spain, best seafood you've ever had, and you're Minnesotan through and through, man. So, I mean, like, when you looked at the menu, did you at any point say to the waiter, where's the walleye?
No, you know what? I was looking down, and it was this kind of fish and that kind of fish, and then I saw the whole fried lobster.
Oh,
and I couldn't pass up on that. So they brought out like a gigantic, like 7-pound lobster, and
wow.
I ate on that thing for a couple of hours.
Yeah, we're not. I mean, we're not getting into bottom lines or Major League Baseball pensions or anything, but I mean, a 7-pound lobster when on vacation, that sounds like $425.
Well, you know how they do it. It says market price. And so they don't tell you how much it's going to cost. They just, do you want it or do you not? And I ordered it. If it came out with, everybody in the restaurant was looking at me, and I think it would have only drawn more attention had it had like sparklers or fireworks coming off it. But
right.
It was completely worth the attention and the calories and all that. And so, yeah, my Minnesota roots, I had to get some fried food.
Well, welcome home to you and your family. Congratulations to your daughter. I mean, that's the A topic here, man. That's really, really cool. And not to get too deeply into the weeds of like your professional schedule, but I mean, you work like whether it's radio or TV. I mean, like what, 20 to 40 Twins games during the year, something like that?
I'm about half the schedule between the two. And so I will be very busy all this month and all next month, kind of jumping back and forth. When we're on the road, I'll be on radio, and we're home, I'll be on TV, and that's the case. This week, we have an awesome broadcast. This Cub Series, Cubbies are in town starting tonight, and it's going to be me, Justin Morneau, and Trevor Plouffe in the booth. Corey Provis is on assignment. He's on vacation, so there's going to be 3 analysts in the booth today, picking apart everything that the Twins and Rocco Baldelli do.
That's right. Yeah, I'm in the Comcast covenant. So granted, it took me a doubleheader to find it, but once I found 1261, I've been watching a lot of the games, and they were talking about that, I think, during the Rays series. So wow, that's cool. So like, who's going to take lead and who's going to do like the play-by-play part of it?
It is going to be one of us each night. It'll be me tonight, so debut for me. And any advice you have for me, I would happily take as one of the goats of play-by-play, multi-sport play-by-play, I should say, PA. So whatever you got for me, but we're looking forward to it. I'm excited about it, and we should have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, all the opportunities are blessings, but I don't think God wired me to call baseball. And about the only way I could put it would be the 0-2 pitch, just a bit outside. Just get deep into that voice, get guttural on them. You got to let everything breathe in baseball. You, Plouffe, and Justin have a zillion stories to share about a million different things. This is going to be phenomenal. So that starts tonight?
It's good. Yeah, that starts tonight. Pablo Lopez is coming in the booth with us tonight. He's going to be there from the 3rd inning till whenever he gets sick of us.
Damn.
So he's going to be breaking things down. So we have that tonight. I think tomorrow, Morney and Plouffe are going to take turns being ball boys during the broadcast. I'm going to ride down to the bullpen with Griffin Jacks and interview him in the bullpen.
Wow.
Terry Ryan is joining us on Thursday on the broadcast. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got some interviews from the dugout. We're going to have Tommy Watkins wired up out on the field. So I think it's going to be a really entertaining couple of games.
Well, this is absolutely spectacular, and I'm glad you shared all that, man. And speaking of Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan, has been so good mostly, the entire season, but mostly of late. When you keep that guy healthy, man, he has such high end to him. I really enjoy watching Joe Ryan pitch. Too bad they don't have Pablo Lopez right now to roll with Ryan. I mean, that would be a heck of a 1-2, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I think Pablo's going to be back later on in the summer, so they've got to just play a little bit better. I think the offense needs to come around. They had a rough month of June, and that was more on the pitching, but the pitching overall has been good. Hopefully they can give themselves a chance down the stretch because they have the top end pitching with Pablo and with Joe to do some damage in the playoffs if they can get there. But they just have to play better, more consistent baseball. But I feel for Joe Ryan. The All-Star teams were announced on Sunday. He got hosed. He's an All-Star. And hopefully, as some of the pitchers drop out, because if they pitch on Sunday, they're not going to be able to pitch in the All-Star game. So there's usually a few additions. He's got to be at the top of the list. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball, certainly one of the top 5 pitchers in the American League. And it's a crowded field, but he absolutely deserves to be there. And so hopefully he'll get that honor later in the week. He's going to pitch Saturday, and that is going to be a good game. That's Joe Ryan and Paul Skeens scheduled right now. So one of the AL's best, with maybe the best pitcher in baseball coming to pitch at Target Field on Saturday. So really looking forward to that game as well.
I mean, with the way Joe's going right now, and granted, Target Field is billed as a hitter's ballpark, but still, the way Joe's going with Skeens for the Buccos, I mean, sir, is the over-under on this game going to be like 5.5?
It might be, honestly, it might be like, I could see an over-under being like under that, 3.5, 4.5.
Yeah.
The Twins offense hasn't been great. Paul Skeens is unbelievable. The Pirates offense is atrocious, and Joe Ryan is really good. It could be like a 1991 Game 7, 1-0, 10 innings type of thing. Like, it really could.
Right.
But I have not seen Skeens pitch in person. I got to see Spencer Strider a couple of years ago down in Atlanta. He was unbelievable. Tarek Skubal on Sunday Night Baseball on the road trip was one of the coolest environments. That was my favorite broadcast I've ever done. The energy in that stadium.
Yep.
Tarek Skubal is unreal. But I think Saturday has a chance to top any of that with that pitching matchup that's coming up.
That's Skubal Sunday night, Perk, granted against us. I mean, it was mesmerizing, and I'm watching it from afar. And first and foremost, Comerica was like as excitable and energized as when Justin Verlander was young, or even back to the Mark the Bird Fidrich days in the mid '80s on Monday Night Baseball. So that was cool to see. It reminded
me, PA, of when Felix Hernandez used to pitch in Seattle. And you'd have a game on Friday night and there'd be 15,000 people, and then a game on Saturday and there'd be 15,000, and then Felix would pitch on Sunday and there'd be 40,000 people there cheering Felix on. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
It was a playoff atmosphere. And I was on the radio broadcast for that one, and the energy in that game on our broadcast was palpable. It was that had to be one of the coolest environments that I've ever experienced.
Damn, bro, you got something at 10 o'clock, don't you?
Yeah, well, I don't even know what time it is.
It's almost 10, and here we're doing a Covenant catch-up for 10 minutes. Haven't even asked you about... I got 9 questions left. All right, your best 10 seconds on this. Byron Buxton home run hitting contest. What are you liking about his season?
I tell you what, he's healthy, number one, and it's so fun to watch him play when he's healthy. You ask guys around the league, every guy around the league puts him in their top 3 best players in the game, most dynamic players. He's running as well as he ever has. And you just see him lift the guys around him. When he does something, everybody else gets amped up just as much as he does. I can't wait to watch him. It's his home state. He's not from anywhere close to Atlanta. He's from southern Georgia, but home state, those fans are going to cheer for him. I think he might win the home run derby because he's got as much pop as anybody in the game. And it's going to be the first home run derby I watch in 10 years when I was at a home run derby 2015 in Cincinnati. So I'm going to tune in for that one. I'm really looking forward to watching him hitting that and then seeing how he does in the All-Star game as well. But so deserving, so happy for him, and just to see him healthy again is fantastic.
Lastly, 15 seconds, you get it all. I'm going to Twins Rockies a week from Friday. Any chance you'll be there? I've become an elite Denver mind over the years and would like to show you around.
I am absolutely going to be there. I'll be on the radio call, and we'll have to connect, and you can be my tour guide for Denver. I haven't been there in a long time, so looking forward to getting back to Coors Field. They've been drawing really well, even though the team is terrible. So I think those will be some fun games. That's coming right out of the All-Star break.
Yep, 100%. You know, I'll be texting you. All right, I appreciate you, ma'am, and let's do it again soon, okay?
Good catching up, PA. Thank you.
Yep, have fun tonight. Appreciate you, Glen Perkins. Wow, Glen Perkins, Trevor Plouffe, and Justin Morneau. The Vox taking a vacation during the course of the Major League Baseball season up to the All-Star break. Corey Provis, super cool guy, Corey. So that's right. They promoted this as I was watching over the weekend, where there's not going to be a standard play-by-play guy. It's going to be 3 people who are of Twins immortality ilk. And they're going to kind of mix it up where Perk's going to like take the lead tonight, then maybe Plouffe tomorrow, and Morneau one of the 2 days with Pablo Lopez joining them in the booth tonight. That's going to be a lot of fun. The Cubs are in town. The Chicago Cubs, baseball immortality. There are a fair amount of people listening right now who may remember when Cubs games were on WGN. Maybe they still are. But it's like when we had limited television options and you wanted to find a sporting event, you would go to WTBS where you would see every Atlanta Braves game and subsequently learn as much about Dale Murphy as you ever would want to know, or WGN. Which would carry the Chicago Bulls. That's where I first heard Wayne Larrivee. Before I knew Wayne, the Dagger, play-by-play guy for the Green Bay Packers. He was the Chicago Bulls TV play-by-play voice. I mean, how about Wayne? Wayne starts radio play-by-play in the early to mid-'80s. One of his first jobs was radio play-by-play for the 1985 Chicago Bears. He was the radio play-by-play voice for the team with the Super Bowl shuffle and widely considered the greatest defense in the history of the NFL. And they won the Super Bowl. In New Orleans, they beat Steve Grogan or Steve DeBerg, one of the two, and the New England Patriots with Sam Bam Cunningham. And then Wayne segued that into television basketball announcing, play-by-play, for the Chicago Bulls. So he was doing Michael Jordan games at that stage of Michael's career.
WGN was the best, man.
It was unbelievable.
Baby Nords down in Cato.
Mm-hmm.
The back end, I think Ryan Sandberg had 2 stints with the Cubs maybe, or it was like most of his career, then he came back for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. But you're watching like Mark Grace without the gloves and Sean Dunston and some of those players in the early 90s.
Dunston, let's go.
And then every year there was a freaking Bulls championship parade.
Yeah.
So you get to see Jordan, you get to see who I did not know at the time, but Double T and all these guys up on stage in the early 90s.
And then the Andy Griffith Show.
And then the Andy Griffith Show.
And then more Bulls parade celebration and then Maud.
Yeah, and then just a bad night White Sox game. WGN was great. Channel 14 down in Mankato back then.
Yeah, that was when I first became apprised and or familiar with a man named Harry Carey.
Oh, the 7th inning stretch that they actually televised?
Yeah. And he was tied. Well, he was the play-by-play voice for the St. Louis Cardinals. And
I didn't know that.
One of his first endorsements are like Anheuser-Busch, based, I think, in St. Louis.
Yeah.
They linked up with the Cards and they linked up with Harry Carey. So I don't know per FCC rules if he was drinking buds on during the broadcast, but
I don't know if the rules applied to Harry at various times based on stories.
Yeah, he was very, very in tune with Anheuser-Busch and Budweiser beer, and he just he had a feel to him and an approach to him that was just dramatically different than anything people would hear. And now that I bring up his name, and like Glen Perkins was, asking me of all people who's never called a baseball game, like, you got any pointers? I don't have any pointers for baseball. The 0-2 pitch, outside, 1-2. No idea. But I should have put him on a Harry Carey double play call.
Oh, let Harry Carey describe turn and 2.
When you would watch WGN, or if you were listening to it on the radio, Harry Carey was not the, at times, most descriptive play-by-play voice in the history of the core four of sports.
No.
So and they're both immortality, Doc Emmerich and Harry Carey. Okay, they couldn't be on polar opposite sides of describing things, because like Harry Carey with a double play ball, and they would have the name Ryan Sandberg was mentioned. He played second base. I think Sean Dunston played short. Mark Grace played first. And Harry Carey, with specifically a game at Wrigley Field, where he had the crowd behind him to amplify what he was doing. Harry Carey double play ball where the Cubs are turning 2, more than not would sound like this. Double play ball. Sandberg. Hey! Hey!
I always love that one.
Not out at second. Dunston fires First to Grace. He's out. And the Cubs have turned the double play. The Cubs have turned two. No, because Harry the fan, and I'm a limb from the Harry Carey tree, by the way, in some roundabout way. He would see the double play and know that you all could see it, and you love Sandberg, and you love Dunston, and you love Grace, and you love the Cubbies, and it would be double play ball. Sandberg. Hey! Hey!
Oh, that's beautiful.
And the Hayes were the outs.
It's so good.
Hey!
You've kind of dealt with that when you do like the preseason simulcast though, where it's always the people watching on TV like, yeah, we get it.
That's the best.
We get it. So you got to pull the description back. The people are on the radio like,
yeah,
Snap, Cousins,
yeah,
Hawkinson, 4th and 2, and we have. And so if I'm watching it on TV, I don't need all the description. I can see it on the radio. I want to dig into the particulars. That balance is tough.
The Vikings have had Bursich and I do TV for their preseason games. Lieber too, but later in the equation. Yeah, for well over a decade now. But it's become a simulcast, like Nordo just said, where it'll be on Fox 9, where everybody can watch, and it'll be on your multiple decade home for Vikings football, FM 100.3 KFAN, where that's radio. It took me a very short amount of time to recognize, from an opinion standpoint or a people-pleasing standpoint, this is completely a no-win situation.
You will not.
You can't, if you pay attention to it and you care about it, and which I do. I don't pay as much attention to it as I used to, but I do care about whether people are pleased or not. You know, given you have made the conscious choice to turn on the radio, and I happen to be tied to the team. You're there for the team. You're there for your bets. You're there for fantasy football, but I happen to be with it. And you don't turn it off. So I have a high level of reverence and respect for people who choose to do that. So therefore, in the serve first existence, you want people to find distractions within their lives if that's what they're looking for.
Right.
Whether it's humor, whether it's, I don't know what it would be, but maybe to pull somebody away from something they don't want to think about. And it's an honor to be part of that. But in the preseason, you know, it's the TV audience can see everything that's happening. So Chester Taylor cuts left, turns up inside the numbers to the 20. Now he darts farther to the right, gets to the 30, near the sidelines to the 40. Now so everybody can see that on TV, so they're kind of like, you're talking too much. I know I am. So then once, you know, after text messages and side conversations with bosses here and stuff like that, once I recognized that they understand there is going to be a line of delineation here with the delivery. But once I understood that, you know, those who, let's just say, God permitted the anxiety gene to infiltrate their covenant for their entire life, once I recognized that it was getting under the skin of somebody, but not in a bad way where it's going to like hurt relationships or jobs or anything. Well, that's when we turn the heat up to 10.
That's when we just push that button.
That's when it's like, you know, could you at least describe a yard line or like part of the field? I'm like, yeah, sure. No, I got you for sure. It's right. Radio first, man. So then we'd come out of the break and it'd be like Bridgewater, Taylor. Oh! We'll be right back on the vast and ever-expanding Minnesota Vikings radio network. Bridgewater. Wow. Look at him go. He pitched it. Oh. It's so much fun.
It is indeed.
All right. Did I just marathon that?
We basically went Steve's Appliances marathon segment.
Yeah, I think I marathon that. All right, here's the deal. Through July 9th. All right. So what are we at today? Damn, man, that's tomorrow. All right. 3-2. If you need appliances, you can save thousands of dollars. And we ain't kidding you with that. Thousands of dollars because Steve's has extra manufacturer rebates in their back pocket. So if you need appliances, a dishwasher, a washing machine, maybe somebody in your covenant keeps messing up the lint trap, now the dryer's broken. And you don't want to spend 15 hours watching YouTube videos trying to fix it. If you need a new dryer, you can save a lot of money right now at Steve's Appliances in Mountains View. This 4th of July savings event, this 4th of July ballyhood extravaganza, in fact, it's a bonanza, it ends tomorrow. So go to stevesappliances.com, find something that is wonderful for you, and then head up to the store or shop online at stevesappliances.com. They provide the week daily marathons, 9 to noon. Nordo produces, and I'm Paul Allen. We'll be back after this.
Yeah, might as well do the cash contest now as well. The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a chance to win some bonus bucks with the National Cash Contest. So you go to KFAN.com, easy enough. Enter the keyword bills. Might win some money if you use the keyword bills. Right now, KFAN.
Every business has an ambition. PayPal Open is the platform designed to help you grow into yours. With business loans so you can expand and access to hundreds of millions of PayPal customers worldwide. And your customers can pay all the ways they want with PayPal, Venmo, Pay Later, and all major cards, so you can focus on scaling up. When it's time to get growing, there's one platform for all business. PayPal Open. Grow today at paypalopen.com. Loans subject to approval in available locations.
Hey, it's me, your heart. Mind if I pick the next song? Listen, even though we're eating better, people who've had one heart attack are at higher risk of another. But Repatha Evolocumab plus a statin lowers LDL-C, our bad cholesterol, and our heart attack risk. So let's talk to our doctor about Repatha.
Do not take Repatha if you're allergic to it. Serious allergic reactions can occur. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Common side effects include runny nose, sore throat, common cold symptoms, flu or flu-like symptoms, back pain, high blood sugar, and redness, pain, or bruising at the injection site. View the important safety information in our banner. Listen to your heart. Ask your doctor about Repatha.
You're great at protecting your own personal information. You probably even use things like two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN. But as much as you try to be in control of how your information is protected, there are lots of places that also have it, and they might not be as careful as you are. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second for identity threats. If your identity is stolen, a LifeLock US-based restoration specialist will help solve identity theft issues on your behalf, guaranteed or your money back. Plus, all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, meaning LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. You might not be able to control how others handle your personal information, but you can help protect it with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Call 1-800-LifeLock and use promo code iHeart or go to lifelock.com/iHeart for 40% off. Terms apply.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.